Random J Productions welcomes you to the Bowman-Gray Stadium for the return of a holiday tradition. This is the return of winter racing and the return of the Madhouse Classic. For the first time in 2 long years, 28 of the world's best drivers are all lined up at this fan-favorite bull ring that's sure to produce some tight and exciting racing. Let's first briefly take a look at the format for our first ever Triple Winner Challenge. First off, all the cars tonight were all identically prepared from one another, in addition to each driver featuring a standardized paint scheme. Second, the manufacturer of choice for this year's challenge was determined by the winner of the Palm Summer League Championship earlier this year. So in this case, PSL champion Brendan Beal, who drove a Dodge, resulted in every car in tonight's field being an all-Dodge field. And as for the Triple Winner Challenge itself, well, if a driver is able to win 2 out of the 3 races in this challenge, they will receive a one-time reserve good for the upcoming Palm Summer League season in 2024. In addition, each of the 28 drivers are separated into 4 different alliances: Ruby, Diamond, Silver, and Gold respectively, with each alliance having 7 drivers each. The average finishes of each alliance will also be tracked for good measure. And lastly, to clarify, this is not a series, as driver points nor championship will be rewarded. But anyways, before we get started for tonight's fun festivities, let's first take a look at our starting lineup and pre-race ceremonies. So on the pole for the Gold Alliance is the 98 and Nathan Stapleton and XM Silver Alliance driver Ross McChann in the 45. Row 2 for the Diamond Alliance is Braden Carruthers and Matthew Burnett in the 6. Row number 3, we got an All-Silver Alliance of Madison Chase and Roberto Crown Jr. Row 4, Patrick Miller and Calvin Baker, your 2020 Summer Series champion. Row 5, we have the PSL runner-up of Nick Sant, and XM the highest starting Ruby driver, 2-time Random J Series champion Ryan Wilson. We got an all-Ruby row number 6 of Owen Miles in the 91 and the 19 of Kyler Sustry. Row 7, Caleb Rose and Jordan Forbes. And row 8, we got the row of the Alexes, newcomer Alexander Vitello in the 97, and the veteran Alex Mullen in the 1 car. Row 9 is Jose Angel Gutierrez in the 25, and the 9 of Joe T. Row 10, Random J in the 53, and longtime Atlanta Motorsports teammate Jordan Stout in the 11. Row 11, Mopar in the 46, and Jason Albert in the 84. Row 12, Lipsy in the 8, and defending Madhouse Classic winner, Keyshawn Richardson in the 24. Row 13, Nathan Ormer in the 95, and Bradley Reed in the 16. And finally, in row number 14, we got 2 past summer champions, defending PSL champion Brendan Beal, and the 2021 Golf Summer Series champion of Hoodlum in the 88 car. Taking a look at the track info here for tonight's race, we're going to go 75 laps on this quarter-mile long short track with 0 degrees of banking. This track's completely flat. And as for the weather here tonight in Winston-Salem, 46 degrees Fahrenheit with 6 miles per hour towards the northeast. And as for the past 2 Madhouse Classic winners, you have Devin Payment in 2020 and Keyshawn Richardson, the last Madhouse Classic winner in 2021. And now it's time for a pre-race ceremony starting with our national anthem. And now for the first time in 2 years, it is time for the starting command here in Bowman-Gray.
Drivers, start your engines!
Of course, hoping everyone out there is having a safe and happy holiday, spending some quality time with friends and family, and of course, getting some really cool presents. I sure definitely got some pretty cool presents earlier today. But for now, it's time for the start of our first winter race in nearly 2 years. Here we go, pace car down the grass as the green flag is back in the air. The Madhouse Classic is back. Looks like this time off for the pole sitter Nathan Stapleton, who got a great start that time by the lead lap number 1. As now McTrain's going to try to defend second place as he and Crudders are side by side through turns 1 and 2. And obviously with this being a short track, the inside is the place to be. And you're going to see a lot of drivers on that outside lane try to get down to the inside as soon as they possibly can. Saw some 3 towards the back of the pack that time by, but coming to complete lap number 3 is Nathan Stapleton, once again with the lead, with Crudders up to second, and Madison Chase up to third. As all these drivers on the inside, even the ones who started towards the middle of the pack, are getting around these drivers on the outside with ease. And there you see Owen Miles forcing Nick Sant to the outside through turns 1 and 2. But with Matthew Minette behind those two, desperately trying to defend the spot over Caleb Rose. Coming to complete lap number 5 is going to be Stapleton extending his lead, this time to 3/4 of a second. As the rest of this outside lane continue to desperately try to make a browse. Oh, I got Joe T in the wall off turn number 4. Appears that Jason Albert and Keith Shermerson have damage as well, as this will bring out our first caution here tonight in the Madhouse Classic. And this will also be a blessing in disguise for the drivers who started on the outside lane or stuck on the outside lane, as this is the only race in the Triple Winter Challenge that will feature single file restarts. Anyways, you can see the damage on Jason Albert's car, especially towards that front end, while Keisha Archison, defending Madhouse Classic winner, has minor damage in his 24, while the 9 of Joe T got the worst of that exchange, as he also has pretty significant front end damage. And as Albert comes down pit road for repairs, let's take a look at the instant replay to see what caused our first caution here tonight. So this started in the back straightaway, halfway completed with lap number 5. Watch Joe T on the outside, side by side currently with Nathan Orman, the 95. So in the turns 3 and 4, Jordan Stout's going to actually shove Joe T up the track until clipping him off of 4, sending him into the wall right in front of Jason Albert. With Keith Sharshey getting a small piece of that as well, hitting Joe T's right side door. And in the case of Jason Albert, he was just a pure victim of that, had absolutely nowhere to go, as ground board of Jordan Stout here. So yeah, definitely shoved Joe T up the racetrack, made it 3 wide effectively. And then off of 4, there's not enough room for 3 cars, as Stout gets into Joe T and sends him into the wall. And speaking of Joe T, let's go on board of his back bumper. Bam, there's a tap right there, sending him up the track, and then there's the other tap, sending him around. Definitely an unfortunate tough break for Joe T in the Gold Alliance, as for the first time tonight, we're under caution in the 2023 Madhouse Classic. Welcome back to the 2023 Madhouse Classic here in Bowman-Gray. We're about to come back green after Joe T in the 9 car is forced up to the outside by Jordan Stout, send the 9 car around and right in front of Keith Richardson, the defending Madhouse Classic winner, and the 84 Jason Albert. Currently your top 3 is the 98 of Nathan Stapleton for the Silver Alliance, followed by Brandon Crudders for the Gold Alliance, and Madison Chase in the 06 also for the Silver Alliance. Anyways, as the pace car heads back down to the grass, we're back on the grid here in Bowman-Gray. Kind of a poor restart there for Crudders as Madison's all over the back bumper of Crudders off turn number 2. And through turns 3 and 4, Madison's going to force Crudders up high as they're going to be side by side for second as Stapleton will once again extend his lead. Meanwhile, Patrick Mill in the 10 car is right behind both Chase and Crudders, currently in 4th, while Ross McTrain, who of course started second in tonight's race, is currently in 5th, trying to fend off Owen Miles, who turns 3 and 4, coming to lap number 13. They'll check that time by. Crudders will surrender second to Chase, as here's Miller now side by side to 20 for 3rd. And that's the thing, once you're in the outside lane, it's very hard to get back down to the inside, and the longer you're on that outside lane, the more positions you will lose. And we saw that happen a lot during our first green flag run, with drivers like Matthew Burnett, who started in 4th, currently outside the top 10, as he could not get down to the inside at all before the caution came out. And as of right now, Chores is at risk of doing just the same, as he's side-by-side currently with Owen Miles for the final top 5 spots. And we'll check the turn screen for once again. Chores could not get down to the inside. Moving Miles up to 5th, and St. Vitale now side by side with Chores for 6th. And speaking of Matthew Burnett, he's currently down to 11th in the 6th car, as right in front of him, Jose Angel side by side with Caleb Rose for the final top 10 spots. And with Angel on the inside, he's going to have the advantage over Rose, but here comes the 20 of Roberto Crown, now side by side with Burnett for 11th. And towards the back, see a lot of notable drivers, including the former Summer Series champion Calvin Baker, alongside Alex Mullen and Lipsy, 2 veterans of the Rainier J Series, and Jordan Forbes, the winner from the Coke Summer Kickoff earlier this year, currently in the 18th position. There's the 95 Nathan Orman, currently 19th in that McDonald's car. Behind him are 2 former Golf Summer Series champions, 2022 champion Ryan Wilson in 20th, while the 2021 champion Podium's currently 21st. In addition as well, another big name, Brandon Reams, coming back here in 22nd, while reigning Palm Summer League champion Brendan Peel is 25th, as he's currently side by side with Jordan Stout for that position. And you can see one of the drivers that's ahead of Beal is the damaged car Joe T. Definitely very shocking again from the defending PSL champion for this lackluster performance so far here tonight. And speaking of performances, so far it's been a great performance for Nathan Stapleton in his 98, as he currently has an almost 2-second lead over Madison Chase, as Patrick Rowe remains in 3rd, McTrain remains in 4th, while Owen Miles rounds off the rest of the top 5. But coming to lap number 22, here comes the first potential roadblock. Stapleton's the lead, as round goes Calvin Baker down the back straight away. So Hoodlum, Joe T, and Such try to get collected as well, bringing out the second caution here tonight. And there you can see the heavy damage and smoke coming out of Joe T's number 9 cars. He's likely done for the night. My goodness, and also too, Calvin Baker in the 28 has significant damage, while Hoodlum in the 88 and Kyle Socha in the 19 have less serious damage than the other 2, but will still negatively impact their race regardless. And as the rest of the field tries to sort this mess out, you see both Hoodlum in the corner of your screen and Joe T both trying to get down pit road. As we're going to take a look at the instant replay to see what caused our second caution of the night. So we're going to start from up above. Watch the 28 car Calvin Baker right on the middle of your screen here in the front straightaway. So Baker going into turn number 1 here gets a run on Lipsy as the 2 make a bit of contact there. But here comes Jordan Forbes, also for stronger on the inside, getting into Calvin Baker's row, sending the 28 car spinning right in front of the field in the back straightaway, and right in front of Hoodlum in the 88 car, as well as Joe T and subsequently Kyle Sustra as well. None of those 3 drivers really having anywhere to go. And take a look at this at real time once again. See a little bump there Baker made on Lipsy, a little innocent bump. But then here's the additional contact from Forbes, sending Baker around. And by the way, both Baker and Forbes are Silver Alliance drivers. Let's go on board with Jordan Forbes here. Yeah, Forbes definitely got very tight off too there. Just going to get off of Baker and sent him spinning. And they're seeing pretty aggressive tap by Orman on Forbes, as this will definitely negatively affect Silver Alliance's average finish here tonight. Go on board with Joe T. So you see the contact from Hoodlum, but then here's the additional contact with Baker almost head on into the 28. And it caused that 9 car to start smoking. And speaking of Hoodlum, was on board with the 88 car. Bam, almost head on into Baker's nose, but definitely not as much as Joe T, as Ryan Wilson that time by who was right next to Hoodlum did a good job of avoiding. Anyways, for the second time tonight, we're under caution here in the 2023 Madhouse Classic, as we'll be right back with you guys after this. Welcome back to the 2023 Madhouse Classic for the Triple Winner Challenge. We're about to go red green after another multi-car pileup. This will be much more severe, with the 28 of Calvin Baker and the 9 of Joe T both out of the race. Meanwhile, Hoodlum in the 88 car, as well as Kyle Sustra in the 19, also received damage from that, with Hoodlum currently 3 laps down due to repairs, while Sustra is still on the lead lap, albeit towards the back of the pack. As of right now, it's currently a Silver Alliance top 2, Stapleton first, followed by Madison Chase in the L6, and the 10 of Patrick Miller for the Gold Alliance. Here we go, once again off 4, pace car goes back down to the grass as we're back into green here at Bowman-Gray. Here comes Alex Vitale now side by side with Owen Miles from 5th off turn number 2. As you see Hoodlum, who of course, as I mentioned, is 3 laps down. For whatever reason, did not drop to the back of that restart as he's now side by side with the lead lap driver of Nixans. On the one, San Vitale is going to clear Miles for fourth, moving the 97 up another spot, as Nixon is now going to get forced up to the outside by Jose Angel in the 25. And because of Angel and Hoodlum, Nixon is going to be trapped in an outside lane who has nowhere to go, as that 40 car could potentially lose several positions here coming to lap number 29. Back up front, Staple continues his impressive performance here tonight. As that time by, head over 6/10 of a second gap over Madison Chase. And it looks like coming to lap number 30, that gap's going to once again be back up to 3/4 of a second. And San Vitale continues his impressive run as he's now side by side of Patrick Miller for the 4th position. It's also worth noting that Alex San Vitale started towards the middle of the pack in the 15th position. In addition to this being his first ever channel start, so definitely a very, very impressive performance so far for the newcomer. It looks like that time by Nick here was able to get down to the inside as he maintained 7th, while Brandon Carruthers just got around that lap car, floated him to maintain 8th. There's a battle for 9th behind him, Jose Angel in the 25, Roberto Crown into 21 side by side. It looks like Crown off of turn number 4 will clear Angel for the 9th position, as Angel will fall down to 10th, trying to defend Random J as he's now going to be side by side to 25. Random's also a driver who started towards the middle of the pack, making a decent march up towards the front at MetLife Dodge. But as these drivers towards the middle of the pack continue to battle for positions, it's time for a very festive edition of Crank It Up here at Bowman-Gray. It's a lap 42 and a half here at Bowman-Gray. We're well past halfway. As Nathan Stapleton, who won the pole as well so far, has led every single lap, continues to lead, but now he has still this lap traffic. Just got around Bradley Reed to 16. But he's working on both Jason Albert in 84 and 88 of Hoodlum, who both have damage from previous cautions. And with Staple continuing to be held up by these lap cars, Madison Chase has slowly but steadily cutting that lead down just over a second. At one point, the gap between these two Silver Alliance drivers was nearly 2 seconds. I could definitely see it by both the eyeball test and just looking at the pure numbers. It could be an absolute chore to get around these lap cars. And these lap cars have always played a factor in our short track races in the past. And there's definitely no exception here tonight. And even though the gap between Madison and Staple is now less than a second, Madison also is seemingly struggling with these lap cars, with the 45 Ross McChain now right behind the 06. And because of this continued lap traffic for the leaders, this is slowly but steadily bringing in the rest of this top 5, including Alex Vitala and Owen Miles. Patrick Miller's fallen down to 7th in the 10 car. At one point, he was inside the top 5 in 4th, which, again, just goes to show you how detrimental the outside lane can be if you're in it for way too long. There's Random J now inside the top 10 to 53, where Matt Fermetic moves back up to 11th. There was the one of Alex Mullen in 12th. Jose Angel, who was another driver inside the top 10 not too long ago, is currently in 13th. There you see Kyle Sustrad did get some damage During the last caution, still inside the top 20 in 18th, while Nathan Norman and Brendan Beal make up the rest of the top 20. There's the 46 bright cranberry car of Mopar. I haven't really said too much about him at all here tonight as he continues to struggle. The same goes ahead for the defending Madhouse winner and longtime Atlanta Motorsport teammate Jordan Stout, as those two drivers are the last two drivers on the lead lap, while Jason Albert, who's already a lap down, is about to go another lap down. So Stable gets forced up to the outside off turn number 2. This will open the door for Madison to be side by side with Stable to turns 3 and 4. This is definitely a position Stable does not want to be in, as these two remain side by side through turns 1 and 2. With Madison clearing Stable off of 2, Madison chased to the lead here at Bowman-Gray. And just like Alex Vitala, this is Madison's first ever start on the channel. Definitely really impressive to see two of the newcomers on this channel perform so well at a track that's widely considered to be one of the most challenging and intimidating tracks to race at. But Stable is not going to go up this lead without a fight as he tries to force Madison up high, coming to lap number 53. As in the 1 now, Stable continues to be all over the back bumper of the 06. What's going to happen here in the 3? There's a bump. The bump and run. He's going to force Madison up high as they're going to be side by side for the lead once again, coming to lap number 54. And this time around, the turns have tabled, with Madison now stuck on the outside, while Stable is the car with the advantage on the inside, down the back straightaway, and into turn number 3 once again. Now it looks like into turn number 4, Stable will take back the lead from Madison, coming to lap number 55, and 98 back on top of the board. Meanwhile, Madison continues to remain stuck up high with the lap car Bradley Riemann next to her, while Vallo quickly approaching into 97. And much like before losing the lead, Stable was trying to get around Jason Albert. Albert's been an absolute detriment to these leaders so far tonight, and that was probably one of the biggest reasons why Stable was able to catch back up to Madison in the first place. Speaking of which, Vallo side by side with Madison for the second position. And it looks like Vallo will clear the 06 off of 4, come to lap number 57 as the laps continue to quickly wind down here at Bowman-Gray. Of course, this race is still far from over with all these lap cars. Stable is continuing to encounter these guys inside the top 5 on the inside, like Miles and even McTrain could all have a legitimate shot of winning if everything plays right for them. There's a battle for 9 for Berto Crown into 21 and Brady Carruthers into 20. Silver Alliance and Diamond Alliance drivers duking out for positions there. Random J, one of the other Diamond Alliance drivers, so holds on strong in 10th. Baffler in the 6 car still 11th. Alex Rowan remains in 12th for the Ruby Alliance, who for the most part has been an alliance that's very much struggled here tonight, with Owen Miles being the only one inside the top 10. There's Jose Angel all the way down to 14th. At one point, he was actually inside the top 10 this race, but him being stuck on the outside lane for way too long caused him and Caleb Rose, for that matter, to lose significant track position. Jordan Forrest and Ryan Wilson continue to remain where they're at, while Kyle Sustry, Nathan Orman, and Brendan Beal remain in 18th and 19th respectively. And finally, as for the 46 at Mopar, 24 Keith Richardson, and Jordan Stout, those two still remain the last cars on the lead lap, as through turns 3 and 4 this time by, Stable continues to struggle to get around the lap car of Albert, as come to lap number 63, Stable's going to force up high. Here comes Alex Antifala all over Stable, as those two are now going to be side by side for the lead off for turn number 2. And just like with Madison Chase earlier, this is a really bad position for Stable to be in, especially late in this race, as these two remain side by side, coming to lap number 64. Looks like that time by Stable at the slight advantage, but into turn number 2, Alex Santivala will clear Stable team for the lead. But of course, that leaves Santivala to potentially deal with Albert for the next 11 laps or so, which could allow Stable and now Owen Miles a shot of winning here tonight. And speaking of Miles, he's going to force Stable to the outside, as those are going to be side by side for second, coming to 10 laps to go. And that was probably the best news Alex Vitala could possibly hear, as he continues to remain stuck behind Albert through turns 3 and 4 once again, and coming to 9 laps to go. Meanwhile, Miles and Stable remain side by side, with Miles on the inside lane still. Looks like off of 2 here, Miles will finally clear Stable for second. Of course, the question is, can Stable get back down to the inside in time and potentially have another chance of winning here tonight, coming to 8 laps to go? Alex Vitala continues to lead, has backed off a little bit from Jason Albert. But Owen Miles is now fast approaching the 97 as they're on border film, coming to 7 laps to go. looks like that time by St. Vitalo pulled away a little bit from Miles, as the lead is now a little over 0.6 of a second. 6 laps to go this time by. Time is quickly running out from Miles to make a move with St. Vitalo. And one thing Miles is definitely going to hope happens here in these next 5 laps now is for Albert and or Hoodlum to significantly slow down St. Vitalo and trim his lead back down. And I imagine that same hope is also spreading to the rest of the field behind Miles, like Staple, Chase, as well as Patrick Miller, despite him being nearly 2.5 seconds behind. See Random J up to 6 into 53. Roberto Crown currently 7th. The 6th of Matthew Burnett for decent rebound up to 8th. Prospect Train has fallen all the way down to 9th in the 45 after starting inside the top 5. While the 40 of Nick Sant rounds off the rest of the top 10. Well, up ahead, you see the lap cars of Hoodlum and Albert right behind one another. And as we come to 3 laps to go, this could potentially spell bad news as Santivalo continues to quickly close in on the lap cars, as Owen Miles now has trimmed that lead down to less than 0.4 of a second. In the 3, Albert forced up high by Hoodlum. That's going to allow Santivalo to close on the lap cars once again. 2 laps to go. In the 1, Santivalo now in a really bad spot with Hoodlum right in front of him, and Albert to his outside. And with less than a lap and a half remaining, can Miles take advantage going into turns 3 and 4 as Santivalo is going to force Hoodlum and Albert up high. The 97 now also on the outside. Here comes Miles, white flag this time by. Santivalo wide goes back down to the inside the block to 91 through turns 1 and 2 for the final time, but Miles is right behind him. Now track to turns 3 and 4, and coming to the checkered flag, he's going to hang on. Alex Santivalo in his first channel start wins the Madhouse Classic. What an impressive run for the newcomer Alex Santivalo here tonight, as he was able to beat several veteran Random J drivers in his first ever channel start, so Albert gets turned by the 98 of Stapleton. This was after the checkered flag, seeing even more damage to the 84. Well, Staple got some damage on his car as well. But of course tonight it's all about Alex Santivalo and the Diamond Alliance, as they are your 2023 Madhouse Classic winners. Definitely huge congratulations to Santivalo and the Diamond Alliance here tonight. But let's briefly take a look at the replay to cause Albert and Staple to make contact after the checkered flag. So this happened when everyone's coming up pit road. As you see, Staple just turns Albert right in front of Hoodlum. I'm not sure if Staple did that because he was frustrated with how Albert raced him, when Staple was the leader, while Albert, of course, was the lap car. Let's go on board Staple here. Yeah, turned him right into the wall, sent Staple spinning as well. That short track tempers for you. But anyways, it's time to take a look at the finishing results and average finishes for each alliance here tonight. So here we go. Of course, Alex Santivalo in the 97 wins the Madhouse Classic for the Diamond Alliance. And again, just an absolutely impressive performance for the driver making his first ever channel start. And mind you, in tonight's field, we had several drivers that were either past champions and or won major races in previous series. And Santivalo is able to beat all of them here tonight. Meanwhile, Owen Miles comes up just short in the 91, finishing second, and is by far the highest finishing Ruby driver here tonight. Finishing third and fourth are a pair of Silver Alliance drivers, Nathan Stapleton in the 98, and Madison Chase in the L6. In the case of Staple, he led the most, of course, won the pole, led the most laps, and had this race in control. But the lap cars, especially Jason Albert, were absolutely detrimental to Staple's run here tonight. And as for Madison Chase, while the lap cars also affected her chances of winning here tonight, still a solid performance for a driver also making her first ever channel start. And right off the top 5 is the Gold Alliance driver of Patrick Miller into 10. You know, Random J, who started towards the middle of the pack, finishes 6th with the Diamond Alliance. Roberto Crown, who finishes 7th here tonight, will be the 3rd Silver Alliance driver to finish inside the top 10. Decent rebound from Matthew Burnett for the Gold Alliance, finishing 8th, while Nick Sant for the Diamond Alliance finishes 9th. And the run-off rest of the top 10 is the 8 car of Lipsing. As you may notice, there are 3 drivers of the Diamond, Silver, and Gold Alliance that finish inside the top 10. While the Ruby Alliance, as previously mentioned, only had 1 driver finish inside the top 10, that being, of course, Owen Miles in the 91. And now the Alliance averages after the night's race, and you can see the Diamond Alliance has a commanding lead over the other 3 alliances with an average finish of 13 flat. Definitely a very solid night for the Diamond Alliance. Not only Santivalo won the race, but all the other drivers had pretty solid performances and relatively consistent performances as well, which is important, of course, for average finishes. You know, the Silver Alliance isn't too far behind with an average finish of 13.71, while the Ruby Alliance had an average finish of 15.7. And finally, the Gold Alliance was all over the place tonight with an average finish of 15.71. And if you look at the full results, the Gold Alliance drivers either finished towards the upper half of the field or towards the lower half of the field. There wasn't really anywhere in between. The drivers either finished decently or finished terribly in the Gold Alliance, which explains their relatively disappointing average finish compared to the other alliances. So next week on New Year's Day will be the second race of the Triple Winter Challenge, and it'll bring us to Newtown, Connecticut at the M&M Super Speedway for the running of the M&M's Classic. A Super Speedway event is always an event you don't want to miss on this channel. But as always, y'all, thank you guys for watching this race. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a happy and safe holidays.